We're talking the best and worst locations for 2026 under 750,000. Each state we're ranking in its own individual best and worst.
The tight supply is pushing prices up. That is the first driver. The last 1 year growth, 23.3%, fastest in the past 5 years. We're going to Palmerston, one of the hottest markets, I think. House price, 600,000. Really high yield, 6.4%.
Is it looking like it's actually set to keep going?
Yes, in 2026, very likely. I'm not picking a city for the worst. I'm picking a region. Unemployment rate now is 11.7%.
That's huge.
Inventory is 10 months of stock.
This list is actually a surprise for me. We're discovering this together right now. Why is it making your top pick?
So many good locations. I had a hard time choosing which, but in the end, I went for
Junge, this is going to be a big episode. How you going?
Not bad. Ready for this?
Me too. And I'm sure a lot of people listening right now are pretty keen. We're talking the best and worst locations for 2026 under 750,000. First of all, it's like 2026. Didn't we just start 2025? I don't want to go down that though. Everyone's like, it's like when it's cold outside. It's like, oh, do you know how cold it is? Yes, I've been outside. I'm aware. but we're talking about the next year coming. And this is going to be such a valuable episode for you guys because there are some areas on here that you're going to be looking at thinking, I did not expect that to make the best cut. But the twist with this is that you've got some that you've actually ranked state to state, because naturally we're having a chat before we started recording. And some of them that are actually on the worst list are the worst for the state, but they're actually better than some that are on the best. Can you kind of just talk this through, just so we're all on the same page before we start pulling it apart? Is that cool?
Yes, no problem. As we know, each state, at different states, they are performing very differently. Some are... and collectively, they are just performing better than another state as a whole. For example, if you look at WA, well, inside of WA, it has its worst and best. But if we compare WA as a whole with, for example, Tasmania, it is still much better, at least growing faster than the best performing city in Tasmania. So it's all about relativity. So
if I can boil it down, tell me if I've got this right. Each state we're ranking in its own individual best and worst. But then the location ladder, it's a free-for-all.
Yes.
And then it's where does it actually rank?
Yes.
And the best one. Got it.
So everyone can see where exactly or where objectively each city is sitting at.
Beautiful. And as far as the data that we're going through for this, it's median house price, last 1 year growth, last 1 year rental growth, rental yield, what's driving the growth, will this growth continue through 2026, and what to be aware of if you're investing here. This is going to be a long episode. Like seriously, go and order a pizza now. By the time it gets to you, you'll still be watching. Okay. Is there anything else you want to set the stage with before we begin?
No, I think let's just get into it.
Let's jump in. All right. So to begin with, we're going to start somewhere we normally wouldn't start. The NT. Where do you want to actually begin this with as far as best or worst?
Let's start with the best.
Start with the best? Cool. Where are we going?
We're going to Palmerston. It's one of the hottest markets, I think.
All right. So Palmerston. Tell me about, let's go through the stats as far as being house price, growth. Where do you want to start with it?
Yeah. House price, 600,000. It's not really... at least not as affordable as many people may think it is. But we're looking at a really high yield, 6.4%.
6.4, so huge. Okay.
The rents must be high.
And that's the average.
That's the average.
So you could potentially put like a 7.5 deal together if you're willing to pull some strings, but just off the bat, 6.5 essentially.
Yes.
Wow.
The last 1 year growth, 5%. But that is basically 12 months rolling median.
And so is that rent or capital?
Capital growth.
Capital. Okay. So you said 5.4?
5%. 5%.
5%.
Yes.
Okay.
If we are looking at even shorter term growth, must be higher than this if that is annualized.
Gotcha.
And rental growth, 6.3%. Not really bad.
Now, can you talk to me about Darwin's history? Because I feel like Darwin's popping up on a few people's radars now. I've been talking to a couple of people that have started investing there, and I'm kind of looking at this thinking, I like a different sort of play. And I can kind of see the logic behind this of it hasn't grown for such a long time. If anything, it went backwards for a long part of our recent history. Is the data starting to support, okay, no, it's time for Darwin to really come out of the woodwork and shine again? Because I believe at one point, 20 odd years ago, it was one of the best performers. Like it did smashingly well.
Yes, in the late 2000s.
Yeah.
It was once the second most expensive city.
That's right. Are we going to see a potential resurgence of that again?
Trends are looking good. Inventories are going down. Demand is increasing, especially from investors. So combining these two, the market pressure is improving, and we should be seeing some growth, some good growth.
All right, can we talk a little bit more about what's driving the growth then?
Major two drivers. One is the tightening supply. Inventory now in Palmerston is just 0.9 months of stock.
You're right.
That is really, really low, and it's been declining sharply in the past year. Just a year ago, we were looking at 5 months of stock. To be fair, it's a small market. So once demand is high, stock can be absorbed really quickly. So as a result, the tight supply is pushing prices up. That is the first driver.
All right. So essentially, demand has increased drastically because going from 5 months inventory to what was it? Under 0.9. There's a lot of people buying there.
Yes.
And because it's such a small market, that lot of people buying there, pushing things up. So does that mean if 5% growth, 600 median house price now, its median house price was only 570 before. So as much as a lot of people have like jumped in and the stock is really short or really, really tight, it hasn't been like a whole bunch of people jump in and then like kind of just push the market up crazy.
Not really. That's why we want to check 3 month rolling median as well, because that is more sensitive to supply demand dynamics.
Okay. And what's the 3 month?
3 month rolling growth since last year, it's been 10% growth. That's much higher than 5% growth, and I believe that's
arguably double.
Yes, and that's more realistic.
Yep.
Based on what we're feeling.
Okay, so this influx of investment is actually helping drive the price up.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And the next driver, that's also the reason why demand is is increasing so fast lately. That's the affordability. Yeah, based on our relative affordability calculation, Palmerston is now 25% undervalued relative to its local residents' income level. That is much better of an affordability level compared to almost all the other capital cities.
Yeah, right. Okay. So we've got some good drivers behind Palmerston. As far as will it continue in 2026? I know this isn't a complete deep dive because we've got another 15 areas to talk about, but is it looking like it's actually set to keep going?
Yes, in 2026, very likely. One reason is the affordability and high yield. They're coming down, but they're still there compared to other states, other capital cities. The current price level, current yield level, still much better. And the second thing is, if we look at the rental market, vacancy rate is actually low. That means housing demand is already high. Vacancy rate now is 0.35%.
Really low.
Yes, that's really low.
That's got to be one of the lowest in the country.
Right. That's definitely one of the lowest.
Yeah. Wow.
And what's more, it's declining as well.
Okay. So with all that in mind, where is this sitting on the location ladder? What score are you giving it?
The location ladder.
Sounded like it's close to the top.
It's in the upper half. It's 5 out of 16.
All right, Junge, anything else you want to say about Palmerston before we move on to your worst pick in the NT?
I guess I would just lightly touch on the long-term growth prospect of Darwin. Or NT as a whole. It is a small market, so it could be volatile, easily affected by demand shifts.
Is it true the population of like all of the NT is less than the population of Townsville?
I didn't check on that, but do you want to check?
I'm pretty sure. Let me just quickly Google. All right, so not quite.
Really?
It looks like, what, 200,000 in Townsville roughly, and what do you got in NT?
263,000.
I wasn't far off.
Yeah, not really.
See, what's 60,000 people between friends? but still, just to give context to how small the market is, which was what I was actually trying to go with that statement. So you're saying basically it really doesn't take as much to move this.
Yes. And another thing is economy in Darwin and NT as well is heavily reliant on public sector. The private sector is not so active. That means if there's any changes happening to public sector projects, that could affect local job market a lot and the economic strength. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind.
All right. So with that in mind, Palmerston ranking 5. Where is our worst place in 2026 for the NT?
So NT, as we mentioned, it's not a large market and we don't have many options. So for the worst, I have to go for the second largest city, Alice Springs.
And why? What's the problem with Alice Springs?
Let's start from the data points.
Okay.
Median house price, 518,000. Not really as affordable as I may think. What do you think?
Not really. And that's got a population like 20 odd thousand. I spent a bit of time in Alice Springs, and from what I understand, they've actually got a lot of social issues there. Like it can be a bit of a dangerous place, which is a shame because there's actually some pretty cool spots to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, to me, investing in one of the most remote places on earth. You know, it was the funny thing when I was there. Oh, I remember walking through the mall. There was a surf shop. You're 1,500 kilometres away from a beach. What do you want to buy a surfboard for?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's what I thought.
Is it for tourists?
I have no idea.
That could make sense.
It's for someone that wants to go on a really long walk with a board. Anyway, sorry, 518,000. What was the last year growth?
Last year growth was 4.1%. Lower than average, but not really bad.
That's actually better than I thought, considering Melbourne as a whole. Wasn't the last year's growth was like 0?
0, yeah.
Okay, so there's some.
Better than Melbourne.
Yeah, okay.
Rental growth, 3.8%, so basically in line with the price growth. Yield is really nice, 6.7%.
Okay. So what's normally the question is what's driving the growth, but what do you think is actually holding it back? Because it sounds like there's some reasonable growth here. Why is it on the worst?
Because it's not as active as what's happening in Darwin. Inventory level is now high, 5.2 months. It needs some time to decline to a more balanced or tight level. But as we said when we were talking about Palmerston, Alice Springs is also a small market. So once demand is there, it could be very fast for inventory to come down. And the second thing is another indicator, days on market. It's 139 days now, and it is actually increasing, 10% higher than a year ago. So pressure here is not increasing as healthily as Darwin is.
139 days on market. That's massive.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're an agent around Alice Springs, you're waiting a while for your commission to kick in.
I don't think there are too many agents in Alice Springs.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. You wouldn't want to do that. And as far as the trend, are you looking at this going, unfortunately, everything's looking like it's set to continue this way, hence why it's on the worst?
Yes, it might be slowly improving, but I don't see fast improving 2026.
Okay.
Yeah, supply is tightening, as we see in inventory. The vacancy rate is extremely low, 0.15%.
It's incredibly low.
It could be a combination of a low demand and even lower supply. It doesn't mean that demand is surging, absorbing all the rental supply in that city.
Got it. Okay. Anything else you want to talk about in Alice before we move on to our next state?
I think that's it. Economy-wise, it's very similar to Darwin or NT, public sector reliant. So it's not as strong as other cities. If you have options in other states, in other regional areas, I believe those could be better choices.
All right. Last thing to do is put it on the location ladder. Whereabouts is it sitting?
Alice Springs is number 15.
All right, cool. Time to move on to Queensland. Now, I feel like I can already pick what you're about to say, but let's start with our best area.
Yeah, too many too many good locations. I had a hard time choosing which. But in the end, I just went for the highest growing or fastest growing one, Townsville.
So talk me through Townsville as far as its median house price now.
Yes, median house price, 632,000.
Still feels like a few days ago that was like 300 and something thousand, but
yes, I remember in 2022, median was 379,000, and now it's above 600.
Now this is why I want to ask, because we've been talking about this for a while now. It's already doubled. And
almost.
You and I have discussed making like a Townsville's done episode, but then every time we look at the numbers, it doesn't say it's done. And now it's making your best pick for under 750 in Queensland.
Yes.
Talk to me about this, the growth, the rental growth, all the rest of it, Junge.
Growth, last 1 year growth, 23.3%.
23.3, that's massive.
That could be the fastest in the past 5 years. And rental growth, not bad, 8% in a year.
Cool. So is that yield still staying intact?
Yield back to a relatively high level, not the extremely high now. It's 5.1%.
How does that work as far as, because I know all of your expenses are a lot more in Townsville, your council rates, your insurance, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this gross rental yield, I don't think the net yield would be.
Yeah, so that's just absolutely something to bear in mind with Townsville. It's not that it's a no-go, but it's something that you need to absolutely be aware of.
Yes.
Okay, and so what's driving the growth in Townsville still?
Driving the growth, the first one, I believe, is the strengthening economy. Now the unemployment rate is 4.7%, much lower than its last 10-year average.
What was it before?
It was once up to 11%.
Wow,
so
bad.
It's down from that peak.
Okay, and industry-wise, it's a lot of government investment, isn't it?
Yes, it does also have.
Yeah.
But the private sector is stronger than NT.
Okay, so there's still diversification. It's not like it's a government town. Got it. And so as far as this growth continuing into 2026, why is it making your top pick? What's it looking like in the future?
Yeah, in 2026, I don't think the crazily fast growth will continue, but it will remain very healthy. Double digit is very likely. Inventory is now at 1.2 months. So even if it's increasing, it will still be in a very healthy range. And affordability and the yield appeal, they are fading. But if we compare Townsville or any North Queensland cities with Southeast Queensland, they're still relatively, or New South Wales, they're still relatively affordable. So that appeal will remain in the coming year. As
far as the growth, it is looking like it's got some strong signals to continue again in 2026, defying the odds. As far as what to be aware of if people are going to invest there, have we really touched on that with gross yield versus net yield? It's kind of really being aware of that.
That's actually a big part.
Yep.
Yield is declining. It's declined to just 5%. If you consider the high maintaining cost there, it's actually not a really healthy yield at this time. All
right. So moving on from Townsville being the top pick. Actually, no, wait a sec. Lead ladder. Whereabouts is it ranking on the location ladder? So
because of the high last 1 year growth and the tight supply, it is now second place.
Still second.
Still second.
All right.
When I ranked it, short-term growth actually plays an important role, a big role in this.
And not that this probably makes a big difference for all you guys listening, but I only know which one's number one because I just didn't want to start with it. Otherwise, this list is actually a surprise for me. We talked about the generalities of the episode, but we're discovering this together right now. So with that in mind, what's the worst pick in 2026 under 750 in Queensland, John?
So this is an interesting one. I'm not picking a city for the worst.
Okay.
I'm picking a region, an SA3 region.
Where are you picking?
The SA3 is called Innisfail Cassowary Coast.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's about sort of 40 minutes an hour away from Cairns, yeah?
Yes, it's between Cairns and Townsville.
And so why are you picking that as an SA3 instead of actually picking Innisfail? Can you talk me through this?
Innisfail is too small of a town to
really measure properly?
to measure properly.
All right, so realistically, it's just way too small. I'm just checking this out here, and it looks like Innisfail is, like an under 10,000 kind of population. So I see what you mean. So you need a bigger data set, basically.
Yes, for trends to be more steady, more reliable.
Makes sense. So as far as median house price, what are we talking?
Median house price there, 420,000.
420, so super affordable. Okay.
Yes.
Last year's growth?
Last year's growth, 7%.
7%, that's pretty good.
And one thing why I selected it as the worst was the 3-month rolling median trend line. It's actually starting to go down.
Right. Okay. All right. So 7% growth for the year, and you're looking at the 3-month trend or rolling average basically going downwards.
Yes.
Okay.
And when 3-month rolling trend line starts to go down, it's a strong signal that growth is slowing. 7% is already much slower than many North Queensland and Central Queensland areas. We're still seeing slowdown on top of this slow growth.
Okay, so 7%. What about rental yield?
Yeah, rental yield, 0% growth.
0% growth. And what's the actual yield itself?
Yield is nice. Yield is 5.7%.
When you're going that regional though, is that nice? Like,
yes, similar to Townsville, maintenance, labor cost, and property management, that must be high.
That's what I mean though. Like if I was going to take a punt of going to like a super small town, which I personally I don't recommend, but I'd be wanting some kind of a 7 or 8% yield for taking that risk. Like, and it's for looking at 5.7,
right.
Doesn't really make much sense. Again, probably why it's on your worst list. So as far as what's driving this, or what's more accurately not driving it, why?
The most likely reason is the high supply level. Inventory now is 6 months of stock.
Wow. Yeah, right. Okay, so 6 months for inventory. So there's not much demand in this area. And as far as the inventory trend?
It's actually rising.
Right. So 6 months. Or again, anyone that's a bit newer at this, playing at home, 2 to 3 is more of a balanced market. So 6, we're talking triple to double what it should be. And it's going up.
Yes.
And this is a game that's more like golf. You want this number to go down, not up. All right, so Innisfail, is there anything else you wanted to add to this before we move on to our next state and look into New South Wales?
Yes, actually I have 2 points to add. One is the local economy is not as strong as bigger cities like Townsville, Rockhampton. Unemployment rate now is 11.7%. That's
huge.
So local industry is heavily reliant on tourism.
It's almost triple state average. Australia average. Isn't
11.
Australia average like 4% or something?
Yes, almost triple. And another thing is, because of the tourism reliant economy, housing demand could be very much seasonal.
Right.
In peak season, people would just flood here. And in winter or non-peak seasons, there could be a lot of vacancies.
Okay. So with that in mind, where's it sitting on the location ladder?
It is a 10 out of 16.
All right, let's move over to New South Wales. As far as your top pick on the list for 2026 looking forward, where are we?
We're at Dubbo.
Dubbo?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the most affordable regional cities in New South Wales.
I haven't been to Dubbo. What's the median price there?
It is 600,000. It's the same as Palmerston.
What, as far as like stats are concerned?
Median house price.
There you go. All right.
So with the 600,000, I think it's better to put it in New South Wales.
Why?
I'll quickly jump into the why before we get into the stats. So New South Wales and Dubbo itself, it has a more diverse local economy, more resilient to economic shocks. So in the 2010s, we know Darwin's house prices went backward, declined a lot before it started to recover. But in Dubbo, with the same price level, there's much less fluctuation. If the economy isn't doing the best, worst case scenario, it will be just growing slowly, and backward growth is very rare.
Backward growth.
Or reverse growth.
I know what you mean. The market declining.
Yeah, market decline, yes.
All right, so you're basically saying that historically it's got a far better stability.
Yes.
Got it. So $600,000. What is the 1 year average growth for Dubbo?
Last 1 year, it was 10%.
10%.
Not bad. Better than a lot of other New South Wales cities.
I feel like we're measuring everything against Townsville's 20-something% now. But just to give you context, that's insanely good. Yeah. 10% is still fantastic.
Yes, it's double digits, higher than average. So let's temporarily forget about Townsville now. Rental growth, 6.3%.
6.3%.
Also healthy.
And what's the yield?
Yield for New South Wales, it's great, 5%.
And that is high for New South Wales.
It's actually just slightly lower than Townsville.
Yeah.
Yet the holding cost, the council rates, insurance.
So good.
Much
it's
better.
cheaper.
Yes.
I've never looked into it because I know council rates when you're looking regional Queensland, thousands and thousands of dollars. But so like council rates in Dubbo, you're talking more like in line with like a Melbourne, an Adelaide, that kind of thing?
Yeah, approximately.
Yep. Oh, cool. All right. So you're getting a lot more of that yield actually in your pocket when it turns from a gross yield to a net yield. Fantastic. Awesome. Now let's move on to what's actually driving this. Why Dubbo?
Okay. 3 major drivers. The first is local economy. It's actually quite strong, 2.9% unemployment rate now.
Okay, awesome.
So the job market is quite active. And then the affordability, as we have talked before, it's much more affordable than other New South Wales markets. And then the third thing is supply. Inventory now is 2.3. It's towards the tight end and it's declining.
And it's still going down.
Yes.
And is Dubbo one of those markets that was just kind of forgotten in the past few years, or has it also still had some pretty good growth like sort of 23, 24?
It actually grew well during the COVID boom. If you look at past 5-year annualized growth, it's actually 10%.
Yeah, right.
It's basically because of the strong growth from 21 to 23. And then from 23 to 24, there's a brief slowdown, 2% per year. And then now it's come back.
What's the 10-year average annual growth?
10-year average, it's actually very much in line with the long-term average, 6.4%.
Okay, so not massive, not little. It is just pretty much bang on the average almost.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, as far as will this continue into 2026, what's the forecast?
In 2026, I'm confident it'll continue this healthy growth because all the drivers, they're still there. The job market is looking good and will continue into 2026. Affordability, it is still there. Limited supply, as we said, inventory is going down. So all these will very much likely supporting another year of healthy growth.
Fantastic. All right. And is there anything else to be aware of if people are looking to invest there?
One thing I want to mention is it's related to the active job market. Construction now is a major employer of the Dubbo area. So we're looking at a lot of infrastructure projects like bridges, road upgrades, and so on. One thing about construction projects is they offer a lot of job opportunities during their construction phase. But once the projects are done, this construction boom is done, maybe in a few years, many construction workers might be moving away, leaving much fewer job opportunities. So that is one small concern about Dubbo's housing market.
Do you know how many are being housed in like transportable kind of dongas versus like your mining camp sort of stuff versus actual accommodation as well? Because I'm just picturing like if like 2,000 workers was just to leave the town and they're all in actual accommodation at the town, surely that's going to have an impact as well of a population of 60 odd thousand.
Good question, but in practice, it's really hard to measure.
I was kind of thinking you might say that. Yeah. No one's out there measuring how many transportable sort of like camp rooms, domas there are. So yeah, fair enough. All right, but that's absolutely something to be aware of though. If people are investing there, might be boom times as far as all the employment and everything now, but if it's coming from jobs that have more of a completion date instead of an ongoing, then there could be a knock-on effect to that later.
Yes, but with that said, this construction boom may last for a few years.
Okay.
And in the few years, if there are more businesses investing here, we're having more factories we're having more factories, more facilities needing long-term employees. Then in a few years, the move away of construction workers can be offset by the new incoming employees long term.
So it's not so much a warning, it's more of a one to watch.
Yes.
All right, so where are we ranking this on the location ladder? I named this thing and I keep naming it wrong. Whereabouts is it ranking, Junge?
It's not bad at all. 4 out of 16.
4 out of 16. Okay. Let's move on to the worst place.
Yes. The worst place, it's a touristic area, the Snowy Mountains.
The Snowy Mountain. I just assumed you were going to say Broken Hill.
I can't always say it.
Yeah.
It's become too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So we may change our appetite a bit.
Okay. Just in case, again, if you're new to property investing, just chuck Broken Hill in realestate.com. You'll see exactly what I mean. But so Snowy Mountains.
Median house price now is 660,000.
Okay.
Last 1 year growth, 4.8%. Slightly lower than average, but there's still growth.
Tell me a little bit about the Snowy Mountains. I know nothing about this region.
It's basically a touristic area.
I thought you were about to say it's basically a mountain with snow on it.
It's called Snowy Mountains.
Yeah.
It's famous for the Snowy Mountains.
It's famous for its beaches, Todd. What do you think?
In winter time, it's full of holiday homes and Airbnb properties.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing I discovered when I was doing this research. Do you remember when the census night was in 2021?
No idea.
It's August. So
okay.
Midwinter. August 2021.
I can already see where this is going. Yeah, keep going. This is interesting.
Unoccupied dwellings in the Snowy Mountains, almost 25%.
Wow.
That's much higher than Australia's average 10%. And bear in mind that is in winter. That's the peak season of Snowy Mountains.
That's when it should have been at its most occupied.
Yes.
And it's still 20%.
24.6.
24.6.
Yeah. So in summer, in spring, summer, autumn, it should be much higher.
So is this just more of like almost a Hamptonsy kind of area where this is where you've got your holiday home, and it's why it's not so much that the market's bad that it's got that kind of vacancy. That is the market.
Yes, it's popular for holiday homes, and it's not really popular for regular rentals. That's, I guess, one concern for investors. If you want to rent your property out for long-term lease, this might not be the best area to consider. But
if Airbnb is your strategy, maybe something worth looking into. And I know you want to
calculate the vacancies.
Yep. Okay, so can we talk about rental growth, yield, all this kind of stuff? I'm very interested in this now. Yeah. And knowing that this is more of a holiday destination, what does that look like? Rental
growth was 0%.
0%?
Yeah, okay. Last year wasn't the best in rental market.
And rental yield?
Yield wasn't bad, 5.1%.
5.1%, but that's probably like the one property that's there for long-term lease, yeah? And I was going to ask you what's driving this, but I feel like you've just explained that. It's because it's such a strong, not only a holiday destination, but a seasonal holiday destination.
Yes. And also the supply level is high. It's 5 months of stock, close to the Queensland worst one. Yeah, that was 6.
As far as what to be aware of if you're going to invest here, it sounds like it is exactly what you've been saying. It's the holiday side of things, the seasonality side of things. Like there's some huge vacancies. As far as will this continue, I'd be surprised if you said no, because like this is what the area is for. Like it's not that it's doing bad, it's doing its job.
Yes.
But as property investors, it's not maybe doing the job we want it to do.
Yes. Growth. We are seeing some signs of a recovery, but it's not strong. For example, inventory, it is starting to decline. Days on market is starting to decline, but they're still high. Days on market is 95 days. And inventory, as we said, it's 5 months of stock.
5 months of stock. All right.
So growth could speed up a bit, but I don't think there'll be significant improvement.
Whereabouts is this sitting on the location ladder?
It is sitting at 12th in the 16 regions.
12th out of 16. All right. ACT.
ACT is the expensive area. It's hard to pick 2 regions under 750,000.
It's also because it's the size of like Westfield Marion. It's pretty small. Maybe that might be a little bit inaccurate, but it's
yeah. So the cheapest SA3 in ACT in terms of house is Tuggeranong. Tuggeranong, it's also actually the best performer now. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I picked it as my best. Median house price now is 892,000.
892.
But if you look at smaller blocks, even older townhouse with relatively big piece of land, there should be options under 750,000.
Got it. All right. And so townhouses are one of those things that you guys are really seeing in the market, not just in ACT, but across the board, starting to get a little bit more pressure behind them. And from a lot of the affordability aspect of that, is that right?
Yes. Affordability is such a big driver.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 892 for houses, but around that 700 mark, below 750 for a townhouse, very doable in the ACT. Can you talk to me a little bit more about last year's growth and rental growth?
Yes, 2.3% price growth and unfortunately 0% rental growth.
2.3% and 0%. I don't think this is going to be high on the ladder. All right. And the rental yield?
Rental yield is 4.2%, just moderate.
Okay, so 4.2%. And again, I'm assuming that's going to be a little bit higher again on the townhouse side of things if you were to go down that avenue.
Yes.
But so far, the picture that you're painting, it sounds like this is the best because you had to pick one in the state that's the best. Like if we're talking about growth drivers and what's really backing this, are you about to tell a really good story, or is this, I just had to pick one, Todd, because you asked me to pick one?
No, it has some good drivers.
Okay.
One is the supply level. Supply is really tightening. Inventory level is now just 0.9 months.
Wow, that's great.
Yes, and it's still declining.
All right, and so trending in the right direction?
Yes. And the other thing is in 2025, the rate cuts really boosted affordability in this area. That's driving demand up.
Brilliant. All right, so there's still some silver lining to it. Now, is this going to continue? What's the forecast actually looking like?
Very likely this will continue. Because in 2026, we may be expecting a few more further rate cuts, and that will further boost buyers' confidence and also affordability in the whole ACT area, including Tuggeranong. And cycle position-wise, it's actually just moving out of the last trough. And moving forward, there's space for future growth.
All right. So whereabouts is this sitting on the location ladder?
It is 11 out of 16.
All right, so ACT, Tuggeranong is your top pick, but it's sitting like ahead.
In the lower half.
I can see why we explained this at the beginning, because otherwise there's going to be a few people going, how come your top pick is sitting right next to a couple of bottom picks here? So we get the bottom pick of Queensland's Innisfail and then the bottom pick of New South Wales Snowy Mountain, and then ACT Tuggeranong is sitting right in between them. But it's because when you're comparing by the state, it's best pick, worst pick.
Yes.
When you're comparing the entire country, they rank differently.
Different, yeah.
Fantastic. All right, let's move on to your worst pick, which I can see number 16 is still a free spot. I don't know if it's sitting there, but where's your worst pick in ACT?
ACT's worst pick is Malonglo.
Tell me about the median house price in Malonglo.
Median house price 905,000, still much higher than 750k. Again, if you're looking at townhouses, there can be options under 750k.
Okay. Last 1 year growth for houses or townhouses and rent?
Yeah, last 1 year growth 1.3%. So there's still some growth. Rental growth 0%.
I'm starting to see why this is on the last pick for you. And the rental yield?
The rental yield is slightly lower because there are too many new houses there. Rental yield 3.9%.
3.9%. Okay. Yeah, nothing is coming up Millhouse here. And what's driving this in the wrong direction?
The high supply level, especially the new supply.
How big?
Building approval rate, usually the balance level is 2 to 3%, right? In Malonglo, it is 15%. So it's basically a new area being built.
I feel like this worst list could actually be translated into a best list if you're like a tenant or a renter or a first home buyer. It's like just flip this on its head and like start having a look in Malonglo, because maybe this is actually a good place that you can get a better deal, because you're not going to care about the growth the same way. And like who cares what the inventory levels are? You kind of want them to be higher. But for us, I see why this is on the bottom. As far as will this continue?
It's likely continue, at least to underperform compared to other ACT areas because of the high supply level. So besides the high building approval rate, the for sale listings is also higher than last year, 20%. higher. And the vacancy rate is also high, 1.7%. That's much higher than Canberra or ACT's average.
Probably still the best thing about it so far that you've said, though. 1.7% is higher, but it's not as crazy high as like 0% rental growth and 1.3% capital growth and 3.9% yield.
Yeah, and days on market it's also increasing.
And it's not even like it's a really affordable, 905,000 median.
It's compared to other ACT areas, it's relatively affordable. ACT's overall median house price is 965,000, so it's below the median range.
All right. I don't think anyone's going to be rewinding this bit to listen again. As far as Molonglo is concerned, if you were looking at buying there, I'm so glad that you just found this episode. For everyone else, whereabouts is this sitting on the location ladder?
You're considering the high level of new housing supply, and it might take years to have the growth normalized. I'm putting it 16 out of 16.
16. I feel like we need to send them some kind of a booby prize. Like it's... Okay, so this is officially the worst area in Australia that you could be buying in right now if you're an investor.
Yes, pretty much it.
All right, let's talk about Melbourne and Victoria, I should say.
Yes, in Victoria, the best pick now is Bendigo.
Bendigo.
The regional star now in Victoria.
All right, what's the median house price in Bendigo now?
Interesting. It's another 600,000.
600 really is the new 300, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, $600,000. And last year's growth?
Last 1 year growth wasn't really strong, 3.3%. This is because I'm looking at a 12-month rolling median. If we look at 3-month rolling median, it's higher than this.
How much higher?
7.6% year-on-year growth.
Okay, so recently it's seen more of a spike.
Picking up, yes.
All right, got it. And as far as the rental yield's concerned and the rental growth?
Rental growth, another 7.6%.
7.6%, so very healthy. And rental yield?
And the rental yield, it has been improving over the past few years. Now it is 4.8%.
Okay, so 4.8%. Now, we're talking about growth drivers for Bendigo. What's happening in the market that's actually pushing this forward?
First, the local job market is more active than before. Unemployment rate now is 4.3%, in line with national average, but compared to itself in the past decade, it is lower. And then supply is shrinking. Inventory was once 4 plus or 5 plus. Now it has declined to 3.3 in the balance level, and it's still declining.
Now, just to make it clear on this, are you actually talking about Bendigo as a whole, or are you literally talking about Bendigo as a buying in the township of Bendigo?
I'm talking about Bendigo as a whole.
Bendigo as a whole.
Okay. Of Bendigo.
Right. So as far as Bendigo is concerned, can you give us like more of a, like if we can hone in a little bit, where's like a top pick?
There's something interesting. Markets, they're all cyclical. Sometimes one market can be the best pick. Sometimes it could be the worst.
Okay.
In Bendigo, it's the same. The suburbs, they are all moving in highs and lows.
Yep.
At this moment, I would say the area that's not feeling the heat the most is the northeast part, the Hunley Epsom area.
Okay.
But as Bendigo as a whole continues to grow, the growth will go to the northeast area eventually.
Okay, because value will start following. All of a sudden, other markets will get more expensive. They won't be as attractive. So you're basically looking at it going, if I give you a hot spot now, it'll just be a hot spot now. This isn't necessarily going to be the best place to park your cash for 10 years.
Right.
Makes sense. So as far as will this continue into 2026, how confident are you that this is going to keep steaming forward?
Quite confident. It's very likely that growth will be speeding up.
Okay.
Inventory is now declining, days on market is declining, and affordability will continue to improve as our interest rates continue to go down. So overall, all the drivers for Bendigo now will be continuing in 2026.
All right, so I'm expecting this to place higher on the location ladder. But lastly then, what do investors really need to be aware of when it comes to Bendigo?
Building approval rate in Bendigo is not low. There are still new suburbs being developed. One example is Hunley, the one I just mentioned. So when you invest in Bendigo, I always would suggest to go for established areas, not the new areas. It applies to Bendigo.
All right, so there's a lot more stock coming to the market, but not so much that you need to be concerned about it, but something to be aware of.
Yes.
Okay, because this isn't in your red flag category. It's just something that's like, you should know about this. Yeah. All right. Whereabouts are we putting this on the leadership ladder, Junge?
Bendigo, it is 6 out of 16.
6 out of 16. I genuinely thought you were going to rate it higher. I was thinking it was going to crack top 3. All right. So Bendigo, what are we talking about as the worst area to invest your cash right now in Victoria in 2026?
Oh, you're right. We haven't touched the worst yet.
No.
The worst in Victoria, it's a region again. Gippsland Southwest.
Gippsland Southwest. All right. Talk to me about the median house price.
Surprisingly, it's actually higher than Bendigo's, 660,000.
660. Okay. Last year's growth?
Last year's growth, it's negative, declined by 4.9%.
This is going to be one of the few places in the country right now that's going that
Still
far
declining.
backwards. Yeah, wow. Okay. And rental growth and yield?
Rental growth, average level 4.4%, and yield now it's relatively low, 3.7%.
Okay, 3.7. All right, so anyone that's not familiar with the area, how far away are we talking from Melbourne?
It's actually not too far. It's just south of the Pakenham area.
Okay.
By driving, it should be around 2 hours.
From Melbourne. Got
And
it.
also, it depends on which town you're getting to. Some are farther, some are closer.
All right, so we're talking regional, but not like crazy regional. So what is this? I'm just looking at this now. It's 137 k's away. Yeah, okay. So it's actually technically closer than Bendigo. But as far as what we're talking now, are much less attractive for investors than Bendigo.
Yes, because it's not a big, strong economy. It's a bunch of small towns, mainly retirement towns.
So instead of it being one collective powerhouse, everything's kind of spread out. So its strength is like, you know what I'm picturing right now? All of what are the Planeteers? Like, and they need to come together to form Captain Planet. So they haven't created their Captain Planet yet. I think we can roll with that, sure. As far as will this trend continue, are you looking at this as a little bit of this is just a negative spot for like East Gippsland as a flash in the pan and maybe it's going to get better? Or are you looking at this going, no, it's probably going to stay the same, if not potentially get worse?
It's probably going to continue this way. Days on market is still quite high. We're looking at 104 days median.
104.
And inventory now is 10 months of stock.
10 months.
That's really, really elevated. And from 10 to 3 or 4, it takes time. Vacancy rate 1.3% and it's actually rising. So
Right.
everything is pointing to
the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not tight supply, not high demand.
With that in mind, whereabouts is this then sitting on the location ladder, Junge?
On the location ladder, it is 13 out of 16.
All right, do we move down to Tassie next?
Yes, why not?
All right, where's our top pick in Tasmania, 2026?
In Tasmania, we're looking at the regional city of Burnie.
Burnie. And why Burnie? Talk to me about the median house price, a few of the stats.
Median house price, 515,000.
515.
More affordable than the other regional towns in the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
Last 1 year growth, not bad, 8.9%.
8.9.
It's back to growth.
Considering Tassie as a whole doesn't seem to be doing that well, that's pretty good, isn't
Burnie,
it?
yes.
Yeah.
Rental growth, not bad at all, 7.5%.
7.5, okay.
And rental yield, 5%.
So pretty healthy yield, just straight off the bat, 5%. And what's driving it here in Burnie?
2 drivers. One is the tightening supply. Inventory now is 2.5 months of stock. Very healthy. And it's actually 40% lower than a year ago. It's really tightening. So it's not just trending towards the right direction. It's trending towards the right direction fast.
Awesome. Okay. And as far as what's really backing this?
Affordability and the healthy yield are 2 really large drivers for the demand recovery.
Yeah, because 515, that to me, like there's not too many wages that can't actually save a reasonable deposit, get into a property. Obviously, it's not affordable for every single person, but a large majority.
Yeah, especially if you are an investor from the mainland.
Absolutely. Okay. And so as far as will it continue?
It will likely continue. So first, inventory, it is continuing to go down. Supply will be tightening. And vacancy rate is actually quite low now, 0.3%.
0.3. That's really low.
Yes, so housing demand is there. Supply is tightening. As a result, at least in the short term, in the coming year, growth should be continue to be healthy.
Yeah. Okay. What about building? Like, is there a ton of land around Burnie and it's just somewhere that you've got that risk of like heaps of new like estates being popping up, or?
Building approval rate now is around 1.1%. Very healthy.
Yeah, very much. Okay. All right, cool. And as far as what investors need to be aware of?
One thing we want to be aware of is the last 10-year growth. It's been very strong, 8% per year in the past 10-year growth. And if we're just looking at last 5 years, considering the COVID boom, it was actually 11% per year growth.
Why is this making the top? Because then with that in mind, isn't it kind of done? Like it's experienced some amazing growth.
Yeah, remember we're just looking at markets within Tasmania.
Okay, so this isn't necessarily going to make the top of the ladder, but this is making the top of the Tassie ladder.
Yes.
Makes sense. Gotcha. I should have known that. All right, so speaking of which, whereabouts are we placing this on the location ladder?
It is actually the 8th place in the 16 regions.
Ranking number 8. So with that in mind, can we touch on the worst place to put your money in Tasmania for 2026?
Tasmania's worst, it's again a region instead of a major town. The SA3 region's name is Southeast Coast.
Okay, Southeast Coast.
It has a bunch of towns in there, including Beach Channel. I've been to Beach Channel for the penguins. Swansea, Triabuna, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Alford, etc. Just small towns.
I think I've seen this before. And is this kind of similar to like East Gippsland, what we're just talking about? Is it because,
Yes.
It's like they all need to actually join together to have a bit more economic strength?
Yes.
Not that that's an option, but you know what I mean?
Yes, and also it's a touristic area and a retirement area. Interesting thing is, guess what's the median age of this SA3?
I mean, I'm going to say like 60.
Ah, you're close.
What is it?
57.
Yes, I was real close.
Australia's average is 37.
Okay, so if you want to get into aged care work, straight down there.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. But talk to me about the median house price and all the rest of the stats. Let's talk numbers.
Median house price, it's not cheap, 578,000.
So it's more than Burnie. All right. And growth?
Last year, zero growth.
Zero growth. Okay. And rental?
Rental growth was not bad, 6.3%.
Okay, that's good. The yield?
Yield, 3.9.
So it's a terrible yield, especially for Tassie.
Yes.
That's some kind of Melbourne kind of yield sitting right there, not a Tassie yield. So as far as what's driving it, again, this is basically just the spread out nature of it.
Yes, what's causing the slow growth is high supply and its cycle position. High supply, I mean, inventory is crazily high, 17 months of stock.
Is that the highest in the country?
Could be one of the highest. It's partially because of the cycle position. A lot of investors are selling up and there's nobody wanting to buy now.
Especially after this episode. Jeez, Junge. All right, so 17 months aside, this would be one of the biggest buyers markets in the country right now. However, looking at the rest of the numbers, it's probably not somewhere you want to buy, hence why it's sitting that way.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, and as far as will this continue? What are you thinking?
It will probably continue. Even if there is growth or recovery, it could be just minimal, considering the high supply and the relatively low demand at this moment.
Okay. Whereabouts is it sitting on the ladder?
It is the 14th out of 16.
The 14th. All right, so we've only got 4 left now. The number 1, number 3 are still available, number 7 and number 9. And just to give you guys a quick recap on the top 3, Queensland, Townsville. Don't know why I chose the top 3. That's a quick recap because number 1 and number 3 are still available. So with that said, let's start the drum roll. What are we on to then for South Australia?
South Australia, our best pick is Gawler in the Greater Adelaide region.
Look at Gawler.
Oh, it's called Gawler, right?
Gawler. I wasn't making fun of your accent then. It's just that was more a term of shock. So Gawler is the top pick for you.
Yes, at this moment.
Talk to me why. This is very interesting. As an Adelaide boy myself, what are we looking at for the stats first? And then let's start unpacking the why behind it.
So median house price is now 710,000.
710, yeah.
Because I'm picking regions based on this price limit, I might have skipped some good performers with higher price points.
Of course, understand. Yep, and which that's a whole different episode to unpack if we're changing the buy price.
Yes.
What was the last 1 year growth?
Last 1 year growth, 15.3%.
Wow. Okay, 15.3%. And rental growth?
Rental growth, 12%.
And the rental yield?
Yield, not bad, 4.6% now.
4.6%. 4%. Okay, so still decent yield, especially for Adelaide now. And what's driving this?
3 drivers. Affordability is a big one, 710, considering Adelaide's median house price now is 840,000, I think. 710 is much more affordable.
Big time.
And rental yield much higher than Adelaide's average. And then supply is tightening. Now it is 2.3 months of stock, 30% lower than a year ago.
So 2.3. So it's not as tight as some of the areas on the list, but that's still pretty tight.
Yes, considering there are a lot of new houses being built, 2.3 is actually a very healthy level.
So is that going to be then something, to skip a question, something to be aware of? Is there about to be like a huge flood of all these new builds in the Gawler region?
Yes, that's the point I was going to mention. The new houses being built. We better stay away from the newly developed areas and stay in the well-established Gawler town centre.
All right. So if you're staying in the well-established town centre, so if you're, again, house and land packages, you're going to be a dime a dozen, because what kind of building approvals are we talking about?
In Gawler, building approval rate now 4.8%.
4.8%. And take me back to what a balanced figure is, just to give everyone some context.
Right. A balanced figure we usually talk about should be 2 to 3%.
Okay. So it's not crazy high, but it's higher than what we'd like.
Yes, higher. But that being said, it's not always a red flag. As long as your housing demand is growing fast enough to absorb all your new supply, new houses, it should be okay.
And I guess this is why it's something to be aware of, not a red flag. So as far as will the growth continue in 2026?
So growth could be slowing down, but I'm confident it'll be still healthy. Some signals of slowdown would be, one, the past 5-year annualized growth was 15%.
That's big.
It's extremely high.
Yeah.
Partially because of the new developments. They are basically lifting the median price up.
Can you open that up a little bit more there? Because I feel like you're touching on a gem of something that gets lost in the data sometimes, that if you don't understand could actually affect a purchasing decision.
Right.
Can you open up what you're talking about there, please?
So as much as last 10-year growth is a great reference point, we can't always rely on it for new areas like Gawler or Adelaide Hills. 5 years ago or 10 years ago, the majority of the houses could be older 3-bedroom houses. And over the 10 years or 5 years, there could be newer houses of 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms being built, supplied to the market. And after that construction period, now the majority houses we are having are new, bigger houses. So median price now should be skewed or just lifted by these better houses.
So that's so important to actually understand. I remember having this conversation years ago with Peter Kalisos, and he was talking about how the median house price, when you compare it to like the 1950s and like, look how much more expensive it is. And it's like, yes, it is definitely more expensive, but he was pointing out it is, but in the 1950s, a standard house was like 100 square meters, 3 bed, 1 bath. Like, he's like, now you've got 4 bed, 2 bath, a cinema room, double car garage, like all of this stuff. And he's like, that's more the standard. And even if you take what is a smaller house now, it's still not a little 3 bed, 1 bath. If you're building a new place, you're building at least 3 bed, 2 baths. You're probably still going to build 2 living areas. And this is why I just want to pause on this for a second with Junge, because I think it's so important. If you're going to like nerd out into the data, awesome. But sometimes you got to pay attention to little bits of the nuance that make up the data. So as far as Gawler's concerned, whereabouts is this sitting on the leaderboard ladder? Or before we go there, is there anything else you want to add into it?
We've talked about why it's probably will slow down because it has passed the peak growth phase. Why it will still be healthy? 3 reasons. One is the local economy is still strong. Unemployment rate there is 3% now.
Okay.
Much lower than Adelaide's average.
3%, yep.
So,
sorry, what's Adelaide's average?
Average 4.6.
4.6. Oh, it's a much lower. Yeah. Right.
Yes. So local job market active, indicating high housing demand. And then low vacancy rate, 0.4% right now.
0.4. Wow. All Right. So there's demand out here.
Yes.
There is some extra supply coming to the market, but as long as that's not so much supply that it's outstripping it. And from what you're saying, building approvals are around that kind of 2 to 3% good. We're in the 4%. It's higher than you'd like, but it's not madness. The 10-year average annual growth, pretty big, 15%. However, there is some nuance in that data as well, because we're not just measuring, like as much as saying it's a newer area, Gawler itself is a very old area. Like there's some beautiful old cottages around there, but you're talking about the new sections that are getting built that aren't like we're just talking, your little 3-in-1s. So that's going to skew that a little bit. So a little bit of a slowdown, but should still continue into 2026.
Yes, considering the limited supply and high demand.
So whereabouts is this on the ladder, Junge?
This is the third place.
Top 3.
Yes.
Okay. So top 3 is Gawler. Fantastic. All right, we've only got 3 to go. I feel like we should start some drum rolls. What is now the worst place?
Oh, the worst in SA.
Yeah. Where are you looking?
I'm looking at Outback, North and East as a SA3 region. The major town there is Port Augusta.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You don't like it?
I've just got family in Talawi. I got a big 1,000-acre farm on the tip of the Flinders Ranges. I've actually got a property out in Port Pirie. It's the very first rental I ever bought. It's done well, but admin issues, a few different things. But I know Port Augusta reasonably well. So yeah, let's hear more of your stats on it.
Okay, this is an area similar to Broken Hill. It's affordable. It's of high yield, but the growth is not really the best.
What's the median?
Median house price 266,000, even after the COVID boom. Last 1 year growth, not bad, 13.3%.
Okay, that's a positive.
Affordability is definitely driving it. Rental growth, just 2.9%. And yield is high at 6.9%.
6.9%. Okay. Now, anyone that knows me knows that I'm all for investing below the blue collar if you can manage your risk and make it work. However, Port Augusta does have a few spots in it that I'm just personally aware of that are pretty far below the blue collar. So there's a few reasons why I'm not surprised that this is the bottom of your list, Junge, because the numbers already, apart from last year's growth, that looks great, 13.3%. So something's happening there. The affordability, 266, this has got to be one of the cheapest places in the country. But look into why if you're going to look into this. But can we open up a little bit more about why you think that it's driving this, the non-performance side of it?
To me, it's the fundamentals not being really strong. Population growth, just 0.2% in financial year 23 to 24. What's interesting is it's actually 31 people more than the past year. 31
people, that was the difference.
Yes.
Okay.
And unemployment rate, it's not extremely high, but still it is at 6.5%. It's
actually lower than I thought it would be.
It's actually lower than the last 10-year average. Yep. It was 9% or so. So it has improved, but overall it is not strong enough. And affordability has driven the growth a lot. It's just the fundamentals in the long run. I don't have much confidence in it unless the local economy strengthens.
Everything that you've just said makes total sense to me. And I think there's a whole lot more that we could open up, but I don't want to spend too much time on the worst when we've got 2 more to actually talk about in WA. Let's head over to Perth, but just before we do, let's place this on the ladder. I'm assuming this is sitting in 9 or is it 7?
Yes. It's relatively higher in the ladder because of the strong recent growth. But yeah, otherwise, if we consider the long run growth potential or risk, it could be even.
All right, top 2. Let's head over to WA and talk. I'm assuming we're talking Perth?
Not really.
No. Okay.
Yeah, our best pick is actually regional WA.
Regional WA. Where are we going?
We're going north. We're going to Geraldton.
Geraldton. Okay. Let's start talking stats.
Median house price 533,000.
533.
It's even below 600.
Yeah. What's the last year growth?
Last 1 year growth 22.9%.
That's massive.
Very close. Yeah, very close to Townsville.
Yeah.
Rental growth 9.5%.
And the rental yield? It's got a 6 in front of it, doesn't it?
Almost 6. Yeah. 5.9%.
5.9%. All right, so 5.9. So we're looking at great cash flow, very solid last year growth. What's the last 10 years looking like though?
Last 10 year annualized growth 4.3%. So still below the long-term average band.
Yeah. Okay. 4.3. All right. So if we look at 4.3%, and what do you reckon is actually driving this?
3 things. One is affordability. Yeah, below 600,000. That's great. And as a result, high yield appeal. That's the second reason. A lot of investors going for the high yield. And then the third reason is its cycle position. Because of the lower last decade growth, the high demand and low supply, it can easily drive it grow fast.
Right. So affordability, yield, and cycle position. And as far as, do you think this is going to continue growing in 2026? 4.3%. It looks like there's still a lot of room to move. The affordability is huge. The yield's huge. I'll be surprised if you say anything, but like, of course it's going to keep going, Todd.
Yes, it will. It will maybe slow down a bit as many hotspot markets in WA, Queensland, South Australia, but healthy growth is no problem. We're seeing inventory extremely low and it's not even going back up. It's at 1.4 months of stock and it's staying there. Vacancy rate is low now. Despite all the investors' activity, it's still 0.6%. High housing demand. And the third reason is local economy is looking good. Unemployment rate now is 3.8%.
3.8%?
Again, lower from its last 10-year, 20-year average.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the three drivers for another healthily growing year.
And so what should investors actually be aware of if they're planning on looking into Geraldton?
Yeah, the major thing is the reliance on mining of the economy. WA as a whole, for Geraldton, mining only takes up 17% of its total output. It's not really high, but a lot of its other industries are also reliant on mining, like construction, manufacturing, but more or less.
17%, it's hardly a mining town. Like it's not a port headland or anything, is it?
It's not really. It's a port city, but it services a lot of inland mines.
Gotcha. So as far as where this is ranking, I feel like I can guess this one.
Yeah, so you only have, I guess, one spot at the top.
Oh, I've just realised this is one. So this is your top pick?
Yes.
Wow. All right. So WA, Geraldton. Now, considering this is the top pick, is there anything else that you want to really add to this one, Junge? Like what else do people really need to know? Because if this is number one, I've got a feeling there's going to be a couple of people jumping on realestate.com and checking it out.
I guess disclosure, this ranking is based on
the 750 range and a few. Yep.
Yeah, we're considering the price range. We're considering my scoring is heavily influenced by its short-term growth. It doesn't reflect the stability or resilience of that market. So bear that in mind.
Gotcha. Okay. So what you're saying is right now, everything's looking great. That doesn't mean everything's going to look great forever.
Yes.
All right, let's round this out with the worst pick right now in WA. Where are we looking?
We are looking at the SA3 or LGA of Kwinana in Greater Perth.
All right, what's the median house price in Kwinana?
Kwinana is now 675,000.
675?
It's actually the most affordable SA3 in Greater Perth now.
Okay, that's good.
That's good. But it also means it has grown so much in the past 5 years.
How much?
Last 5-year annualized growth, 16.3%.
That's massive.
And what's even more massive is last 3-year annualized growth.
What was that?
19.6%. That makes sense because the more affordable markets in our capital cities were performing much better since 2022 because of the high interest rates.
Can I just point something out? Because what Junge was just saying about Geraldton, just because it's doing really well now, doesn't mean it's going to do that forever. And this is such a perfect segue to this, Junge, because I feel like you and I could have sat down 4 years ago, and this could have been a top pick. It could have been Kwinana.
Sure.
You've got to go to Kwinana. And it's like now it's the bottom pick, not because it's bad, but because as investors, it's done what you've wanted it to do. It's grown fantastically. Like that is huge growth. And now it's like, okay, there's probably not much juice left in the tank here. So let's stay away. It doesn't mean stay away forever, but it means in that short term. Can you walk me through a little bit more of rental growth, rental yield, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, for sure. Price growth, I think we haven't touched price growth yet. It's 12% growth in the past year.
Okay.
It's already slower than Greater Perth's average, which was 15%.
15%?
Yep.
Okay.
Rental growth, 7.8%. Very healthy, not bad at all.
Sounds good, yeah.
Rental yield, 4.9%. It's already in the fourth.
And as far as will this continue, I kind of feel like the numbers that you've just said, yeah, but can I have this in your own words?
Yeah, the slowdown will probably continue. Inventory now has increased to 3.2 months, 44% higher than last year, and it's still going up And now the gap between Kwinana and the other middle ring or even inner ring areas in Greater Perth is shrinking. So the affordability advantage of it is fading. And now more people are actually getting the equity they made from Kwinana property and put them in inner ring, middle ring areas in Greater Perth.
Makes sense. Okay. So as far as the worst place right now in WA, we're looking at Kwinana. As far as where that sits on the list, I don't need to ask you. We've only got one spot left. It's ranked 7.
Yes.
Okay.
So although it is the worst pick in WA, in the, what's that called? What ladder? Market ladder?
At the location ladder?
Location
both you and I keep forgetting that. I don't know why. Maybe this is a bad name. But the location ladder, yeah?
In the location ladder, it is still relatively good because of the healthy growth and the relatively healthy yield.
Well, summing this up, right now I'm seeing WA, Queensland and SA in our top 3. Tassie, NT and ACT in our bottom 3. There's a whole lot of a mixed bag in between, but even then for WA, it's not even cracking it's still in the top 10 even for its worst pick. Like Kwinana's still ranked number 7. That's pretty strong. For SA, it's a little bit more spread, top 3 for its best pick, and then for its worst, top 9. And NT, such a mixed bag with Palmerston's, sitting in number 5 for its best pick, and then 15 for its worst pick. So when it's bad, it's bad. When it's good, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it can improve quickly.
The thing that I really wanted to ask you, because this is a fantastic list that so many people are going to get value from, Junge, but what's your action step for everyone that, like, you guys have got resources. I know how much money you spend on data, on analysis, like it's stupidly huge. And the normal person does not have that. What's an action step they can take right now, pull out the headphones and put into practice to start sharpening this, to start better understanding this?
There's no need to close the tab and then directly go to Geraldton.
You know everyone's going to do that though, right?
Hopefully not really.
I don't blame them. I would.
What's more important is to pick one market that really interests you and go to realestate.com, SQM research, or any or property.com, or any data providers or any real estate websites to really look into it, the supply, the demand, and even ABS. They have a lot of economic data to dive in. By doing this, you can actually using this as a case study to really understand which factors are influencing the demand and supply dynamics in one market. So
really dive into the market. Don't just kind of look at it on face value.
Yes.
You're saying if you're going to pick an area, get to know it really well.
And it might not for your next investment, but it can be good practice for your next location selection.
Love it. Junge, I actually think this is officially the longest episode we've ever done. The raw recording right now is over 2 hours. I reckon this will still cut into around that. But you and I have had a few chats in between. I am starving. It's now well past our lunchtime. Let's go grab a bite to eat, which is segueing me perfectly into the last question. Junge Ma, you're about to order this. What is your favorite pizza?
Let me go back to my classic margherita.
Margarita.
Si.
I ask you every time, and I'm pretty sure it's the same answer every time.
No, this is the second time I say it.
A second time?
Yes.
Okay. What do you normally say then? I thought you normally say margarita.
I have seasonal picks.
Okay. All right, it's been a big day. You have brought so much value to the table. This list is so comprehensive as far as giving people a better understanding of what's really happening, I guess, in that little bit deeper into the data, but not only just talking in numbers, but giving reason to the numbers, really giving understanding to it all, which I think is the thing that is easy to forget because data is kind of thrown around all the time, but it's like, unless you actually know how to interpret it and you know the meaning behind it, data is kind of useless if it just sits on a shelf. So you bringing that to life, Junge, thank you so much for spending all the time to put this together because I know how much work there is behind this. And thank you again for jumping on the show.
Thank you for having me.